it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening. So what I wanted to do today is show you my method for working on plastic handles for improving their look, shining them up, buffing them, and just making them in general look a lot better. So let's take a look at these. So these rivets are a little oxidized. They got some scratch marks in it. The handles are in great shape. You can tell this person does not put them in the dishwasher. This is clearly hand washed. Has been around a bit, but certainly not misused in any way. So this will be a real easy touch-up. But let me show you the new radial discs for my jewelry buffer, which is my favorite way to work with handles, especially plastic handles. I never like to take plastic handles to my high-speed buffer, which is over to the left, because I just find it tends to melt handles. It's just too fast, it's too powerful, and I never have that problem with the jewelry buffer. So I recently mentioned this in a different video, adding radial disc abrasives to the jewelry buffer. I finally figured out how these things get mounted, and it's using these little mandrels, and I have a video on that. I'll refer it in this video about where to get those, because they don't do a good job of telling you how to attach these things, and it's really amazing on Amazon. They don't even have them linked together. But as you guys have seen before in my other videos, I love radial disc abrasives. I use them on Fordham tools. I use them in Dremels. I use them now also on my jewelry buffer. So here's my jewelry buffer. And I'm just going to show you real quick. So I showed you how these are like a little oxidized. And whenever you're using the radial disc abrasives on with the jewelry buffer or on metal, it is good to look to see, you know, if there's a grain pattern. So most handles, whether it's WÜSTHOF or Henkles, if you look at them, they do have a grain pattern. Now, on this WÜSTHOF Classic Icon, it's a pretty fine grain pattern. So it's actually closer to the 1 micron green disc than it would be this 250. But the 250 does a really nice job of restoring stuff like this. So let me make sure that's zoomed in well. You know, if you can see, let's see the oxidation there. See that, how that's all oxidized. And I'm just going to show you real quick. So the key to the jewelry buffer is very, very light pressure. I've read many times, sometimes you'll read reviews on these and people that have no clue what they're doing, you know, bought them for woodworking, and the guy was like, oh, I destroyed the disc in one job. What they're usually doing, or I can almost guarantee it, is they are pushing too hard. You have to let the jewelry buffer do the work. Now you saw I barely touched that, and I just did the tips. I really let the jewelry buffer do the work. And can you guys see that? So if you look real close, you'll see those little lines in there where it, you know, you can see it's abrasive. So, you know, but it's going with the current lines, and I'm going to show you how I take that completely out. So you don't even worry about that you're seeing that. Right now, I just want to get this oxidation off and make these look real nice. So I'm going to go back to my buffer over here, and I'll hit the other so you can see that. You'll see very, very light, not a lot of pressure. I'm just letting the buffer do the work. Now, if I wanted to, I can hit this whole side. Even with this 220. 220 works great. Just keep in mind, very, very light pressure. Let the buffer do the work. You don't have to push hard. the good thing is there's really not even any reason to push hard, because they just do an absolutely gorgeous job. So let me show you this now. Come on little camera, you can focus. You guys see how nice that looks now? I mean, we put the pattern back in there, and so it's a little less shiny because, like I said, this is 220, but now I'm going to show you my other trick. So my other trick is to use a plastic polish. Sorry, I bumped the camera, that was my fault. So I like this plastic polish. I'll leave a link to it in the video. I use it on my jewelry buffer. This is a medium grit buffing wheel, and you can get these in my buffer will take 4-inch or 3-inch. I have dedicated pads for each thing, but this one you can't see it on there, but it says plastic, and this is for buffing plastic handles. And when you guys see, I mean, it's gonna look like it's brand new. So you can see I'm just touching it up. Now you can go both directions if you want. Not gonna hurt it. And once again, I go pretty light. Now if it's heavily oxidized, if the rivets need a lot of work, you can go a little harder and you can push a little harder. And the beauty of the jewelry buffer is I've never had one of these burn or even come close to melting a handle. Let's see if I can get that. You guys see how much nicer that looks? Look at that. So I'll show you the other side, which the other side I touched the rivets, but you can see I didn't touch the handle at all. You guys see that? See that difference? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And what did that take? Just a few seconds. And I've shown before in videos how the radial disc abrasives do a beautiful job of cleaning up, you know, all the bolster areas, and you can even do the whole knife. If you're gonna get into doing the knife, watch some of my other videos. Be very, very careful, especially around logos and things like this. You can take them off, and you don't want to. So don't buff out that logo and take it off. You don't want to remove that. So, you know, unless for some reason a client wanted to, you could take it off with that. But look at the difference in that handle and when they get it back looking like that. So why don't we go through the full progression so that you guys can see how great it looks if I decide to go through the full progression. So I'm going to just take the plastic buffer off, and I'm going to take the 200 grit buffer off of this side. I'm going to put the 400 on, and I'm going to put the 1000 grit on the, or I'm sorry, it's 1 micron, which is way more than 1000. So 1 micron equals 14,000 grit. So 1 micron, 400 grit. We'll do a full buff out on the handle, then I'll hit with the plastic and show you the results at the end. And it's just amazing, and it's fast. It doesn't take a ton of time, and you'll see like what a great job it does. So once again, super light pressure, just over that whole handle area. It's fine to hit the metal. It's just gonna buff everything up here, removing old scratches out of the handle, and basically going with the grain pattern of the plastic. And that is pretty good. There's a little scratch here. I'm going to do a little work on that area and just see if I can get that out. Yeah, it's pretty deep. I'm not going to worry about getting it all out, but these already look so much better than they did. Alright, so now I'm going to just come right over to the 1 micron side. And same thing. super light pressure. If you do that, let the radial disc do the work. I probably said let the buffer do the work, but it's really, I guess, appropriate to say let the radial disc do the work. And if you use light pressure, your radial disc will last you for a long time. So these 3-inchers, you know, as long as I don't beat them up and treat them appropriately, they should really last a long time. And you get used to using the light pressure. There's just no reason for using heavy pressure. Now, one thing I will say, yeah, I mean, alright, so let's just show you that. And they look great. And now we're really going to shine them up. I'm going to go to my plastic polish. So just take this off. Take this off. See how I write on them? Plastic polish. So this one is only used with the plastic polish. And I have other things written on other ones for depending on what it is that I use on them. So like this one says white rouge. And this one is wax. And this one is flits. I always want to put an N in there. This one is Renaissance wax. So I have you know, different ones for different things. All right, and let me show you this. This is a rake. So a rake is used to clean your buffer pads. And if you see them getting dirty, and they will get dirty, it doesn't hurt to give them a little bit of cleaning. And all you gotta do is just kind of rake the rake across it. If you're doing this on a high-speed buffer, you really need to hold on to this thing. It's pretty easy on the jewelry buffer. I just get in there and give a little rake, and it throws a little lint around, but it gets a lot of dirt and oxidation and stuff off, so that when I put the polishing abrasive on there, it's nice and clean. Alright, now I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go right on there. I mean, can you see? Oh my goodness. These almost look like glass. They're going to look brand new. They really are. It's so nice when they're pretty decently maintained, like these were. You could tell they didn't throw them in the dishwasher, and they take good care of them. They really come out nice. I mean, it's just, they just look great. These look really great. And same thing, you don't gotta push real hard, just light pressure. And wait till you see how these rivets just shined. It's just all shined up. Yeah. And you can really make something look nice. Alright, let me show you that. Let me see that. Couple spots I need to hit right there, but yeah, I mean, they just really does a beautiful job. And another thing that you can use, believe it or not, is flits. I do really like the plastic polish for the plastic, but flits is also plastic safe, and it looks really great too, and it's great on metal. So that's like one of my favorite polishes too. So I like the plastic polish, definitely for doing plastic handles. But I have also, and I'll just show you that real quick, I have used flits. In fact, I've pronounced it so many times wrong in the beginning. Look, I even added an N when I originally wrote this on her. It's F-L-I-T-Z. There's no N in there, but I really wish there was, because I want to call it Flints for some reason. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Flits Company. They've even commented on videos of mine before, so they're really cool. and I like that about them. And they're it's just a great product. You can put it on everything, plastics, metal, because a lot of plastic, a lot of polishes, man, if you've ever gotten like a car wax polish on some plastic and it gets a haze and then you wanted to get it, that never happens with flits, like ever. It just doesn't, like, it just never ruins anything. It's just awesome stuff. So I love to rub it into plastic like this, and then if you use it on a buffer, and this is a fine buff wheel, let me show you what this does. So this is another thing you can do. Now this would probably be more if I was really refinishing somebody's stuff. Not just like, you know, I like to do the quick cleanup. If I'm just doing a quick cleanup to make someone's stuff look nice, I'm probably hitting with the 220 dental abrasive, maybe a little plastic polish. But if someone's paying me for, like, you know, to really make their handles shine and look like new again, then I'm probably going to do this that you're seeing right now. And this stuff just, I mean, yeah, now we're really in the category of these look like brand new handles after the flits. I mean, they are, that is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, and I didn't even sharpen this yet. I still got to sharpen it. And that is something you want to keep in mind. I usually do all my beautifying work, like handle stuff, at first. So now I'm just looking to see if there's any little haze spots that I missed, and you can get it with your with just a microfiber cloth too. You can get anything left off. Let me show you guys that. Just hit the side a little bit. Yeah. All right. Let me show you. Let me show you the flits. You see that? And they look great. They're so shiny. Let me give them a good wipe with a microfiber. So I always find it's best to finish by hand, usually with a little bit of, with a microfiber cloth, just to get anything that was missed. Because these buff pads, no matter how much you clean them, they're never perfectly clean. But yeah, look at that handle. I mean, compared to what we saw when we came in here, it doesn't even look like, well, it doesn't even look like the same knife. Alright, so that is my method for plastic handles. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry for bumping the camera. And I'll catch y'all later on the next one.